Hey guys, it's your boy CJ and welcome to my gaming vlog. Now guys, in today's tutorials I'm gonna teach you all how to defend properly so that you don't concede more goals and hopefully stop your opponent from scoring you. And also I'm gonna show you what really happens if you lose focus and then you don't defend very well. Now guess what, if today's your first time here, please subscribe and then hit the notification bell for more FIFA in-depth tutorials and then tips, guys. Let's get it.
And lifts it over the keeper. It's a good bit of skill and an excellent goal.
Alright guys, welcome back. Now in this quick one, you realize that my opponent has the ball and he's going to counter attack me now. Now guess what, my cursed player who has a cursor on top of him cannot move that fast. So the player that is really next to my opponent's player is the one I'm gonna put a cursor on, so that he's gonna make a run to attack every movement that the opponent's player has, especially covering all open spaces in the area. Now once he plays the ball to his player, you realize that my player has actually switched to that level to where his second player is going to get the ball. And with this, I can quickly get the ball from him by easily, pressing quickly the X button, and then it's going to actually tackle and then take the ball from your opponent, and hence you've been able to defend. Now the second one here is a little bit trickish, but you need to concentrate. You need to use your CDMs. Do not use your defenders. You realize that if you don't use your defenders, they are in a straight line ready to cover every open spaces behind them. Now once your opponent has the ball, the opponent has the ball, I tried to use my CDM player to attack him, but he was able to shield the ball. But guess what, I quickly pressed the box button, which enabled second man presser, but he was still able to hold on the ball. But once he was still holding the ball, I never called none of the defenders to help in attack, because that could have made way for him to even dribble his way and then pass a player he's thinking of passing up, the which he does. Now look at this, the defenders are still in a straight line. You do not want to move any of them. Once you move them and then you're beaten, there's gonna be a big space for your opponent, and then you're gonna pay dearly for him. Now at this very moment, I'm just covering the spaces with my second player, the one with the cursor on. I'm covering the spaces. I don't need to bring my defenders because they are actually in their mark and they will not leave their line. Of course, I haven't called any one of them, which you should keep in mind. If you don't call any of your players, that is the defenders, they will still be at their marks, and then they will be guarding each place, making sure that there is no space created. Now here, my opponent decided to pass the ball to his player because there happened to have been a little bit of space in front of him and then behind my defenders. But guess what, one of my defenders was actually ready, because I toggled the second man press and then he couldn't hold on the ball no more. That is my opponent, and then he decided to pass the ball to his player, and guess what, my defender was in his mark, his position, and he was able to intercept that ball, and we were able to actually defend that very moment, because it would have been a goal if we had missed or lost concentration or focus by using our defenders to go in or out, all out to take the ball. But we were able to take the ball and it was easy. Now in this other scenario, you realize I'm only using one player to chase my opponent to get the ball. Now my defenders are still in line. They are actually in line. So once I was able to take the ball from my opponent's first player, it was the ball mistakenly went to the next player, but I still used the same player to put pressure on his player, and guess what, I was able to take the ball, and it really helps. You need to be focused. This is just like the second scenario. Now I'm only using my CDM. I'm not using any of my defenders. You see how they fall in line, and then it's easy. They will take the ball no matter what happens. They will definitely take the ball, and you would have successfully defended your post without getting scored. Now, in this scenario, this is where if you don't take it easy and then you use your defender, you see what happened there. He was able to beat my defender, and now I was short of one defender. But guess what? I only used a player from the midfield to move in to attack, so that my defender will automatically move to his post or his mark. You understand? Creating a straight line, creating that the defender's line that, it cannot, create spaces for my opponents to pave through it. So quickly, once he was holding the ball, it looked like he could pass to any of the players right next to him, but he did not. My opponent did not. So I quickly toggled the second man pressing, and then we were able to put pressure on him, and then my defender just passed the ball wrongly, and guess what? I was able to take the ball from him. Now, in this very scenario, you realize that I've got one player running all the way from behind just to cover spaces, because my opponent is looking at moving forward to pass his player that is at the other side. You can see my player moving. That is Mohamed Salah. Now he's moved all the way from the striking place, and now he's coming to cover the spaces here. Now my opponent is looking at turning back. You need to learn how to anticipate your opponent's movement too, because he's actually seeing a big space behind, and he wants to play that kind of stuff that he's gonna just drop the ball back and then pass in the box, an open player. Of course, if there is a space in there, but guess what? Mohamed Salah had the place covered, and he was able to block that pass from our opponent, and that was very, very, very successful for my team players, and we were able to win that ball. Now in this scenario also, I was a little bit sloppy. I lost the ball, but guess what? Quickly, I did not call my defender. I used the same player that lost the ball to go for the ball. And guess what? Once I was pressing up on him, I quickly tackled the second man press in, and then the pressure was exerted on my opponent's player, and then we're able to intercept the ball, and we got it. In this other scenario also, you realize that my opponent has every bit of chance to pass a through ball to his two players that have actually made the run. But look at this. I have one player moved all the way from the midfield to cover up his running player who has every bit of chance of getting a true ball from him, but he rather chooses to go with the player who is down there. But guess what? It was actually a wrong low ball from my opponent, and I was able to take it because the place was covered. All the plays were covered. Now this is a sloppy chance. This is a sloppy way of not defending well. Yes, of course, using your defenders to attack your opponents. They will score you. You will lose focus because you're gonna open more space for your opponents to have a chance to pass his running players. And guess what? If that happens, your defenders will look crazy, and you're gonna be pressured. Of course, you will start pressing up on your opponent using any other player you might find, and that will be very dangerous, and then it will create big space for your opponents to actually pave through. I almost paid for this, but my keeper came to my rescue, and he was able to stop the ball right there, and then hopefully we did not concede a goal. Now, a typical example here again is when I did not use my player behind my opponent's player, that is the one who was attacking, but rather I used the defender. I called the second press up with the defender, and since the defender moved, it created a big space. And guys, guess what? My opponent was able to play the ball through, and this is a big time mistake you should not make when you're playing your FIFA, especially opponents who are good in dribblings. You need to keep your defenders in line. If you don't, this is what happens. When you don't keep them in line, you get to pay for it. And guess what? I paid for it. Yeah, I paid for it dearly. Now, in this very part, I was able to win using, this beautiful lob pass, which is very nice, and I was able to win the game. And guess what? In my next tutorials, I'm gonna show you guys how you do that beautiful pass, when you need to do it, how you need to do it, which kind of buttons you need to press so that your players can make a run up for the lob pass, and then you can successfully score. Guys, this is where I'm gonna bring the FIFA tutorials to an end. Guys, if you really found value in this video, please kindly subscribe and then hit the notification bell for more FIFA updates and uploads. Guys, subscribing and then liking the video helps the channel to grow, and guess what? If I grow, we all grow together. See you guys in the next one. Bye for now.